access socioeconomic goods like food, water, and healthcare as part of their mitigation and adaptation measures to ensure that these people's rights are not violated as a result of the impact of climate change with its manifestations in the form of drought, floods, pandemics, among others. In addition, the effect of climate adaptation and mitigation policies is a crucial issue in any discussion of the response to climate change. We should bear in mind always that the cost of adapting to climate change should not disproportionately fall on the poor and the vulnerable members of our society. Where the cost of adaptation and mitigation measures is not thought through carefully, they have the undesirable effect of increasing inequality in our society. Lastly, the entire policy development, implementation, and evaluation process related to climate change should involve active participation of stakeholders, with an emphasis on the fair participation of vulnerable and marginalized groups. Given our Constitution's strong commitment to the ethos of democratic participation in governance, whenever the national or county governments engage in climate action related to policy development, the citizens, including the vulnerable groups, must be involved, as it is only through their input that we can ensure that adaptation and mitigation policies are owned by the very people that it is going to affect. Indeed, it is given that climate change will affect food security, access to water, and health outcomes in our country. This is likely to see the living conditions of the vulnerable segment of our community worsen and exacerbate the already existing inequalities in our society. What this should tell us is that the most vulnerable need to be included in our decision-making efforts. This is an obligation that has been enforced by our High Court in Mohammed Ali Bandi case with respect to the Rapset project, and in the Mui Coal Basin Koroko community case with respect to coal mining projects. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that our Constitution imposes a climate action obligation on all state actors, more so the national and the county governments, as evident from the Charter's insistence on sustainable development. In addition, we come to grips with the threats, dangers, and challenges of climate change and the required climate action. There is need to bear in mind the social justice imperative in the Constitution that requires that our mitigation and adaptation measures and policies protect the vulnerable, the excluded communities, and population groups among both the current and the future generations. I thank you for listening. I thank you for inviting me. Long live devolution, long live climate justice for all of us. Thank you.
Sijasikia claps. Ngine tena nyinyi watu wa siasa mnajaa hapa. Pigia Chief Justice clap mzuri. Thank you very much, Lady Chief Justice. We have just one final thing. I kindly request Madam Miriam, Honorable Miriam, to come here. Please have a seat. I would also want to ask my Chair of the Council of Governors. Chair, please come. I would also want to ask my Chief Whip, Honorable Tolgos, to also come. Lady Chief Justice, we have one or two presents from Ukambani, from this great region, not necessarily from Makueni itself, but from this region that we wanted to give you. You know what they are proud of, you know what they have perfected, and I do believe, I suspect that that's what is going to be given. Where is the secretariat? Are you letting me down? Yeah, can you come up, please? The first present is to the Chief Whip, who will pass it to our Member of Parliament from Zimbabwe. Madam, receive that present. That's a carving. It's not made in Europe. It's actually made right here, where you are. And these people are experts. The only people who beat them in those things are from where I come from. Thank you very much. The second, thank you. Hebu mpige picha kwanza. My good chair, you will hand over the present to and you know that's an elephant, Madam Chief Justice. I hope you understand what that means. And we thank you for your rational decisions that you have taken, not necessarily to support devolution, but to support the Constitution, because that's what you took your oath on, and we thank you very much for that, especially some of the decisions that you have taken on devolution. And we would want to thank you, and as you go to sit, I'm sure the Master of Ceremonies will come here and tell us about lunch and other things, but please don't leave so that we will all have lunch together, all of us together. Thank you very much. The Master of Ceremonies, the one who, yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Shall we appreciate our chief guests? Let's put our hands together for the chief guest. Thank you, Honorable Chief Justice, for reminding us climate justice and for linking independence and accountability. We're now ready to get to lunch. And allow me to give the arrangement as hearing. Because of COVID restrictions, yesterday we had a lot of crowding in the VIP tent that is right opposite here. And we are serving the same food in the tent behind on my right. So I want to ask that when we exit for lunch, the VIPs, development partners, sponsors, honorable senators, honorable members of parliament who are here, we will exit and go to the tent on my left. That is the VIP tent. And the rest of us, there's another tent here behind on my right that has the same food. So let's avoid crowding in the VIP tent, and we shall have our lunch and come back 2:45. We still have one sub-theme in plenary, and then we shall break for the breakaway sector sessions. While we take our lunch and come back, I'm told that we need to try and visit the booths that are across the road, and they will put up a nomination form for the best booth. Please participate in telling us who has the best booth And these, the best and the runner, will be awarded tomorrow. As you can see, we have a link. So very simple, you just get to the link, click it, the form will come, a very simple form, fill it, and just send. And by tomorrow, we will know who has the best booth. Otherwise, thank you, and let's enjoy our lunch. We'll be back at 2:45. Asanteni.